Apartment 7A.
Who?
Oh, you haven't heard of it. Let me give you a brief breakdown of the plot. It's a prequel to Rosemary's Baby.
What?
Yeah, so apparently somebody thought that Rosemary's Baby warranted a prequel. And at first, I was a bit intrigued. The original movie involved a devil-worshipping cult that had connections that seemed endless. So doing a deeper dive into that world, or more specifically the apartment complex, where the original movie took place, seems like a decent idea for a horror flick. So let's go through it with spoilers. Spook me, Johnny. So the story revolves around a dancer performer named Terry. Our first impression of Terry is a very energetic, quirky kind of gal, which tracks because she is about to go on stage to sing and dance. She performs and it's a fun, brief performance before she does a big wowza kind of move, which ends in disaster. I am such a dramatic bastard. It's not that bad. She rolls her ankle so bad in her landing that she has to get serious surgery on it. After the surgery, Terry is on the search for a new dancing job. She refuses to do any other kind of work. I find it very admirable that she never gives up on her dream, but it is at the expense of her friend, roommate, fellow dancer, so...
What a dick.
One day, she goes to a tryout, and so much time has passed that she has become a bit infamous in the dancing community as the girl that fell. They ask her to perform the move that broke her, and she does it pretty well. But then they ask her to do it again, and again, and again, and it hurts a bit more every time. The director of the show admires her tenacity, but asks her to crawl around on the floor and act like a pig, to really see what she would do to get her part. She responds with a, "I'll do anything for a role, but I won't humiliate myself."
Admirable, but foolish!
She doesn't get the part, but she ain't taking no for an answer this time. She waits for the director to head to his place to stalk him. Ah, yes, totally not psycho bitch behavior. She follows him to his place, but the front doorman won't let her up to his place because clearly Alan Marchand, the director, isn't expecting her. She feels nauseous and runs outside to vomit. Enter the overly friendly elderly couple, Minnie and Roman Castevet. They see our poor girl in the street about to lie on her own sick, so they take her up to their place to rest, which is in the same building as Alan Marchand.
What a coincidence.
After Terry wakes, the old couple offers her food, but Terry turns away the meat since she grew up on a pig farm she just can't stomach after knowing how the sausage is made. You would think that part of her character would lead to more than just this one line, but it doesn't.
That's not a good start, but keep going.
Minnie and Roman tell her that they have a spare apartment down the hall. They say it's because they wanted to control who their new neighbor would be, and it would be of no charge to Terry.
Long story short, we hear a story too good to be true. It ain't.
You're right, Brad Pitt. It is, but we'll get to that later. The offer is too good to pass up. It's also a two birds, one stone situation for our main girl. It'll help her friend out who's been carrying her around like dead weight at their place, and it'll get Terry close to Marchand. She moves in and the old bats are quick to set up a little dinner party with Marchand. Terry goes dressed to impress, if ya know what I mean.
Giggity. What? Nothing, it's stupid.
She shows up at his place and they have a drink and chat. Marchand tells Terry that the old couple aren't coming and it'll just be the two of them. Terry gets a little dizzy from the drink, which leads to a very random but interesting dance performance that looks like straight out of a Beetlejuice set. It ends with Terry tied on a table and a bedazzled demon approaches her, and it looks okay. I'm open to new monster looks. She wakes up in the bed of Marchand and she doesn't remember the night, but he tries to play it off like he's slightly insulted. Yeah, nobody who is watching this movie is buying that, buddy. He tells her that she has a big day ahead of her. She is in the chorus of the upcoming performance, to which she accepts. I mean, it's not like she has anything else going on. She is practicing with everybody else, and she is the weakest link because her foot is still holding herself back. She goes back to her place and Minnie is talking to a former judge, Mrs. Gardenia, who offers Terry a special lotion to help her out with her foot. Ah, so this is the new kind of witchcraft. In the original, it was a special drink, and now we get a special lotion. She wakes up the next morning and her foot is all better.
What a coincidence.
She goes to practice the next day and she does great. Some time passes and the old couple throw a Christmas party. Terry and her dancing friend go and they have a good time. An obstetrician is there and he kind of pushes Terry to accept his card even though she's not planning on having kids for quite a while. I know this scene isn't exactly foreshadowing because we already know what this story is going to be, but I think this is foreshadowing for how the movie is going to play out from here on. A lot of tell and forced dialogue down your throat.
Shit.
At the party, our girl Terry is given a nice coat and necklace with some tennis roots. I'm almost positive that this necklace gift is also in the original. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. We get a few scares that are pretty decent, and the next morning our girl wakes up with a bit of morning sickness. Luckily, she has the card from the obstetrician and sets up an appointment to confirm, yup.
Your ego is prego.
At practice, she gets some teasing from the current lead of the show, who is a total grade A bitch. The director stands up for our girl, and when everyone leaves, he lets Terry know that he knows that she's pregnant, and he's happy, but she is devastated. When she goes home, the old couple give her all the praise in the world. I guess doctor-patient confidentiality was not a thing back then, cause this asshole is telling every Tom, Dick, and Harry around. Terry tells the old couple that she's not sure if she wants to keep it, but they double down with a solid guilt trip and tell her that they've always wanted to have kids, but they couldn't have any. So if she doesn't want it, they will take care of it and pay for all of her needs. She slightly agrees, and then Minnie aggressively says, "It's settled then." Yikes, lady. One night, Terry gets attacked by one of the old couple's friends, which fails, and Terry is looking around her place wondering how that old bitch got into her place. She finds a secret passage in her pantry that leads to another person's apartment. I think it was the old lady who attacked her, but I don't know, it could be the old couple's place. She grabs a red book that has a bunch of Satan stuff in it, and then books it. The next day at practice, the blonde lead gets a bad case of Suspiria. And is no longer able to dance. Our girl is chosen to be the lead, and that makes Terry happy, but the hallucinations and prego belly make Terry sad. She does some investigating into the tenant that used to live in the apartment she is currently staying in. I really don't get how all of this works out, but she's able to get a hand on some of her stuff. After the former girl's cross burns Terry's hand, she goes to a local church and asks a nun what she knows about the girl in the red book. To which the nun just vomits all of the information we already know. There's a Satan cult in the apartment complex, the girl got knocked up but then killed, and now Terry is knocked up and will give birth to the Satan's offspring, blah blah blah. This is nothing new. Whatever. Terry asks her dance friend about back alley abortion, so they go and try to get one. Doesn't really work, and Terry tells her friend that she has to do all of this all on her own. Ugh, this cliche makes me sick. Terry goes to the hotel and goes to the secret basement, I think accidentally? Who cares? She sees a big ceremony stage where the deed all went down. The director of the show shows up and tells her everything with no subtlety. He even says that she always craved the dark.
What? Oh, come on!
What fucking movie were you watching, guy? Terry is a sweetheart, hard-working gal with a sad past. Craved the dark? Ugh. So Terry grabs a knife off of the table, and when the director comes towards her, she stabs him in a non-lethal area, and he falls over and dies with zero struggle.
No good. Wow.
She goes to her apartment and the old couple are waiting for her, dumping more info that we already know, and Terry takes a knife and tries to stab herself in the stomach, but the baby is using its powers to stop her. Okay, sure. She gives up and accepts their help in bringing the son of Satan into the world. There is a huge gathering where Terry is able to vent out her emotions with one big dance. It's actually pretty good, and I swear to you all, I called this ending right before she started dancing.
Bullshit!
I promise. She dances her way to an open windowsill and gracefully falls backwards and lands on a car and dies. Should have aimed for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes.
And the movie ends with the old couple coming down to see the body, and we see the couple from the original movie and then cue the credits. I wonder what clip I could use to sum up my thoughts and feelings and truly articulate the kind of poetry necessary to describe such a cinematic experience.
What was the point of all that?
Yeah, that about sums it up. The fuck was the point of this movie? Seriously, we learn nothing new, and it's such bullshit that they squandered this idea. I liked the character of Terry. She's a pretty likable character. I mean, she did demean herself by sleeping with the director for a role, and for those of you who have seen this movie and disagree with me, I really challenge you to explain what she was going to do when she followed that director home. Just beg for the job? She already did that on stage, and they turned their back on her. You think a sob story is gonna get these show directors to give her a chance?
No!
It was extra dirty that she was drugged at the guy's house, but I am very sure it was going to be her final Hail Mary to bone this guy. She was desperate. It was her dream to dance for a living and refused to do anything else. It made her that happy. This story isn't a traditional deal with the devil story. In the original movie, the husband made the deal with the devil to become successful with his career because he was having a rough start after they moved. His wife just ended up getting the short end of the stick, but she did want to be a mother, hence why she flipped at the end of the movie. Terry never made such a deal. Yeah, she did get all the things that she wanted, but passively. She never uttered the words or shook the hand or anything consensual in order to receive the gifts that she was given. The movie is not very scary. It has a scare or two, but not much else, which really doesn't help. But the biggest sin of the movie is that it adds nothing to the Rosemary's Baby universe. We learn nothing new about the cult. The history of the apartment complex, its members, not a damn thing. I don't even understand how this got greenlit, unless it really is that easy to get some movies made. Just say you were gonna do a sequel or a prequel or a remake of a film that people already like, and some asshole with money responds with a good old derp, derp, make it. And that's it. Ugh. Anyways, I got good news and bad news. The good news is that the Halloween movie marathon list is here.
Woo! Yeah, baby!
The bad news is that I am not going to be doing a review on all of the movies and releasing a review a day for the month of October. Sorry, it's just too much work and those vids got barely any views last year. Maybe I'll do more reviews than normal for October, I don't know. But let's hope that next year, maybe I'll bring it back if any of y'all want it. And don't forget to get spooky, my friends. Thank you all for watching till the end. We're getting close to monetization. We just need my watch hours to go up. So please, feel free to give a like, a sub, and click to watch one of my other vids. It'll be spooky.